Hello and welcome to your English news broadcast live on ERi-TV. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time from our headquarters at Asmara. With your domestic and international news in brief, I'm Zahra Badouri. But first, we'll begin with your major headlines for this broadcast. An announcement from the Ministry of Health. Conference to combat climate change and commendable health services provision after that. Nigeria, nearly 70 dead in villager attack in southwestern Niger. UN global food prices hit 10 years high. Welcome to your domestic in brief. 17 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in the central and southern Red Sea region. Out of these 16 patients are from quarantine centers, 8 and Central Region 8 and testing stations in Asmara 8, Central Region. The last patient is from a quarantine center in Asab, Southern Red Sea region. On the other hand, 9 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the northern Red Sea region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly risen to 6,753, while the number of deaths stands at 45. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,927. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 5th November 2021. Conference to mark the 26th United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change that is currently underway in Glasgow, the UK, was conducted also today in Asmara, November the 5th. In his keynote address, Mr. Tesfaye Ghebreselassie, Minister of Land, Water and Environment, said that while marking the prominence and the hope that world attaches to the negotiation process of the conference, it will be appropriate on the part of Eritrea to reflect not only one exceptions from its deliberations, but also indicate what is that Eritrea has been doing and will have to continue to do to contribute in the success of the unlimited objective and familiarize the youth in different governments, institutions, the motive behind conveying the Conference of Parties 26. Minister Tesfaye went on to say that even though Eritrea's contribution to the worrisome global emission is not negligible as a country hit hard by the impact of climate change adaptation has been priority strategy during the last 3 decades. He also said that Eritrea has been mobilizing communities in implementing targeted programs aimed at restoring degraded land, soil and water conservation, and rehabilitation of the ecosystem, and that the achievements are encouraging. As Amaboke Sande, UN resident coordinator in Eritrea, on her part said that unless drastic measures are taken to address the temperature that's reaching a new high and biodiversity reaching new low, warming of oceans, acidifying and choking with plastic wastes, as well as to the uneven rain distribution, unprecedented flooding, and droughts will mark vast stretches of the planet added dead zone for humanity. At the conference, timely research papers were presented and the participants conducted extensive discussions and adopted various recommendations to that effort. On your final domestic, according to Nurse Jamal Mahmood, head of the Mbatkala Health Station, Maternity and Child Health Services Provision has reached to 95%, while prenatal treatment to 80%, indicating that the number of pregnant women seeking treatment at the health stations that was 60% in 2020 has increased by 33%, and that the number of maternity and child treatment that was 80% has increased by 19%. Nurse Jamal Kamal pointed out that the health station, on top of providing health services to residents of Imbatkala semi-urban center and to residents of the villages of Nabret, Shaglai, Madit and Hotzit, is also engaged in conducting awareness-raising activities on health issues. As a result of these sustainable awareness-raising activities, the prevalence of communicable diseases has significantly been reduced. Stay tuned for your international. After this short break, stay tuned for more. And on your global report, governments say 69 people were killed in latest violent incidents in Niger, tri-border zones with Burkina Faso and Mali. At least 69 people, including a mayor, have been killed in an attack by gunmen in southwestern Niger, the government has confirmed. The assault was the latest in Niger's tri-border zone with Burkina Faso and Mali, a volatile area that has been the epicenter of a years-long conflict between state forces in the western portion of Africa's Sahel region and armed groups linked to ISIL and Al-Qaeda. The gunmen ambushed a delegation led by the mayor of Banambogu on Tuesday, about 50 kilometers from the town in the western region of Talabri, near the border with Mali. Announcing the death toll on Thursday, Interior Minister Alike Al-Hada said on state television that 15 people had survived and a search operation was underway. A local source identified the site of the attack as the village of Adibdab. A motorcycle-borne defense force was attacked by heavily armed members of the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara, who were also on motorbikes, the sources told AFP news agency as a report. Another source also said that the target of the attack was a local defense force called the Valgens Committees. The assailants headed off back to Mali, in quoting, taking the bodies of their fighters with them, the sources added. Armed groups have killed more than 530 people in attacks on civilians in the frontier region of southwestern Niger this year, over 5 times more than in all of 2020, according to data provided by the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, a consultancy which tracks political violence, reported. On your final report, global food prices kept climbing from the third straight month in October, said that the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization's report. Food prices around the world continued to climb, hitting a fresh decade high last month, according to the latest report by the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO. The FAO Food Price Index climbed for a third straight month in October, jumping 3% from the previous month to reach its highest level since July 2011. Higher food prices are felt by everyone, but are especially hard on poorer households that need to shell out a larger share of their income to keep themselves and their families fed. Global prices for food, energy, and other commodities have soared this year as countries roll back COVID-19 restrictions, triggering supply shortages and bottlenecks. Reducing harvests from some its items and a recent surge in energy prices are also feeding food prices inflation. October's gain in the FAO Food Prices Index were led by vegetable oils. The price increased by 9.6% in October from the previous month, a new all-time high. Cereal price also rose sharply again, 3.2% from the previous month and a massive 22.4% from a year ago. Within the cereal category, wheat prices rose for a fourth straight month to reach their highest level since November 2012. Prices of maize and rice also edged up in October. The global supply crunch helped drive dairy prices higher for the second month straight, thanks to buyers' effort to secure supplies to build stock, said the FAO. Backing the March high were meat prices, which eased from the third consecutive month, led by falling pork prices thanks to reducing purchases from China and falling beef prices triggering by mad cow disease concerned surrounding in Brazilian supplies. Prices of sugar, however, also fell 1.8% in October from the month before, the first decline after 6 straight months of price gains. Dear viewers, that is all for now with your domestic and international news in brief for November the 5th. These are your major headlines for this broadcast in review. An announcement from the Ministry of Health as your primary domestic. Conference to combat climate change and commendable health services provision. In Nigeria, nearly 70 dead in village attacks in southwestern Nigeria. Global food prices hit a 10-year high in UN reports. That is all for now. Stay and enjoy the rest of our programs until we're back with some more news. Stay and enjoy the rest of our programs, and thanks for watching once more. Have a nice one.